Welcome back to Gecko Finance channel. This is Artie and let's go. When you start investing, you will learn basic principles that will help you invest and make profit for a long run. But what to do if you are a complete rookie and you don't know anything about the game? We are here to help you learn basic fundamentals that will help you make money and prosper. Rule number 1, create an emergency fund. Let me tell you this, investing is not saving. And before you start investing in securities, you need to have an emergency fund because you always need money that you can rely on. Because ideally, you need to have enough money to last from 3 to 6 months in case you lose your job or some other thing happens unexpectedly. So before you start investing, take care of your emergency fund. So what to do if you don't have an emergency fund? In this case, we advise you to save 10% of every income that you get. You get a salary, save 10%. Your mom gives you some allowance, save 10%. And this way, slowly but steadily, you will save enough money that could eventually help you in a tough situation. And when you've saved enough money that could help you in a tough situation, you can start investing in securities. You can start making money for different financial goals. Rule number 2, don't invest all the money that you have. This rule is very closely related to the first one. You have everyday expenses. You have groceries to buy, bills to pay, taxes to pay, other things like that. You must not invest all of the money that you need for those purposes in securities. If you invest everything and then, sell those shares back or whatnot, you will get very little profit, if any. Don't forget, you will also need to pay broker fees. Those could be pretty expensive. So, in the end, you may end up losing money. There's no fun in that. Investment is a long-term process. You shouldn't invest the money that you will need in the foreseeable future. Rule number 3. Don't invest in tools that you don't understand. Imagine this. You go to a restaurant and you open the menu and you see some familiar positions like pizza, ravioli, and then there's something that you've never seen before and the ingredients that you also are not very familiar with. What do you pick? Of course, you can pick something that you don't know. It could taste good, but also you may end up eating walrus dick or monkey brains. That's not gonna taste good. Meanwhile, pizza and spaghetti are always solid and they will always bring pleasure into your mouth. The same thing is with investments. So you can choose something that you're not very familiar with and there's some chance that you will earn some money and you will make some profit, but there is a much higher % chance that you will lose money. Because if you choose something that you're not very familiar with, you will never know if those things will grow in price or their price will go down significantly. There is high % chance that you will lose money. So we advise you to only choose those tools that you are familiar with and those tools that you have researched. If you aren't familiar with any tools, you can follow the link in the description to our video that tells you about the most basic investment tools like funds, bonds, and shares. Learn about those and then you can start investing. Rule number 4, find a reliable source of information. To understand investments, you must always follow the situation on the market. You must always check the news and you must always follow influencers' statements. But where can you get all that information? You can do all your research yourself. You can spend all your time at the computer reading the news and constantly, doing your research, typing, blah, 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 and spending all of your time doing that. Or you can subscribe to our channel. We explain investments in simple terms and we also give you life hacks about how to invest. If there is something worth investing in, we will always tell you. So, subscribe to our channel and let's keep in touch. Rule number 5, contact a reliable broker. It is very important to find a very good and reliable broker because that is the person who will guide you into the majestic world of investments. A broker will connect you to the exchange through which you will buy all the shares. Therefore, a lot depends on that person. Carefully study terms of cooperation, compare commissions, and Find the person that you trust the most. Also, find the person who will take the least amount of money and who looks the most trustworthy. If someone asks too little money, that person is shady. It's not the real Slim Shady. Let me ask you a question. What is the most important thing about investing? Of course, making profit. And if you give all of that profit to your broker, isn't that profitable? No. Therefore, you need to find a reliable broker. You must study the terms of cooperation. So be smart about it. Alright, rule number 6. Study the tax legislation. There is one thing that I don't like, and that is losing money. And one surefire way to lose your money is paying a lot of taxes. Maybe there is a way to avoid that. So that's why you should study tax legislation, because you can find ways of how not to lose the money. And also, every country has its own tax legislation for investors. So it's very important that you study it, because least worst case scenario, you can lose some of the money, but the worst case scenario, you may end up in jail if you don't pay taxes. I think going to jail beats losing money, to be honest. Rule number 7. Evaluate your risk tolerance. There is a very simple rule in investing. The risk is proportionate to profit. If you want to make a lot of money quick, you can invest into something that is pretty risky. You can make a lot of money, but you also risk losing the money. So if you're that kind of person, go ahead. But if you're not willing to risk and you want steady income every month, invest into something that is a bit more solid. It's all up to you. But before you start investing, you need to realize what kind of person you are. The first one or the second one. And rule number 8. Invest regularly. In investing, it's very important to be persistent. So if you don't have a lot of money now, but you have, let's say, 100 euros to spare, instead of spending it, you can try and invest it into something. And you can try and invest 100 euros every month. Every month, you can add a little bit to your investment portfolio, some bonds or stocks. You know, it's up to you. In some time, you will notice that you have a pretty solid investment portfolio that is bringing you some good passive income. And that is good. And that is what makes me happy. You making profit. Well, that's it. Like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Earn money, multiply money, and be happy. And remember, the world is not all about money, but about its quantity. I will see you later.